Hello, Royal Affairs family. This is Roy,
And I'm Yolanda.
and we're your guides in showing you
Affairs Done Right. Now, we're using this channel to share how we're using travel as a pathway to continue healing, reignite love, rebuild trust, and experience transformation. If this is something for you, then we definitely invite you to hang out with us.
This month, we shared our thoughts on how travel fosters open communication because it allows partners to talk honestly and openly about their feelings in a neutral setting. And today, we're providing a recap of what we shared.
Right. So I first wanted to make sure that we were on the same page when it comes to communication. So a Google search, Merriam-Webster, I think I even asked my kids, but finally got to a consensus that communication is the way we talk and share our thoughts and feelings with each other. It's not just about words, it's also about listening and understanding. It's the code that helps people connect and understand each other better. So, open communication is always important in a relationship, but especially so when trust has been broken because it helps to build stronger bridges between both partners. It also helps with understanding feelings. It helps with fixing mistakes like saying, I'm sorry, I messed up. And it helps with rebuilding trust. And it definitely helps to develop teamwork. So, how does travel play into all of this? I'm glad you asked. Travel can open new avenues for navigating through the tricky waters of rebuilding trust because, one, it offers neutral ground for conversation. It also provides a safe space for being vulnerable. Third, travel provides opportunities for uninterrupted quality time. It also offers partners the opportunity to express their feelings freely. And finally, it allows partners to address unresolved issues and cultivate emotional intimacy. Now, I know there may be some challenges with open communication, especially if both partners have different communication styles and or this concept is just totally new. So I did provide some starting points in the video I shared a week ago with my perspectives. Be sure to check it out if you missed it. So babe, what about you? What are some things that you shared with your listeners?
So, on open communication, the one thing that we talked about is in open communication, more so the idea of if there's something valuable on the inside of your partner, you have to use effort to actually bring it out. So I had a Coke can and I talked about if you pull the tab in the right direction, then you can get access to what's on the inside. As well, I talked about that there are varying degrees of open communication. I had an envelope where I shared, hey, if you open it just a little bit, is that open? Or if you tear it all the way open, is that open communication? Or if you take everything out, is that the meaning of open communication? And open communication may look different from couple to couple. So I tried to share insights around that. Even when you start open communication, you may not necessarily get it right even the first time. It may seem awkward, communication might not go right, and it may not just be this amazing experience the first time or the first few times. But I encourage our audience just to keep at it, keep practicing. So as well, I close with, as you're traveling, the one thing that you want to do is, again, make sure you pack the tactics and the techniques that your counselors, your grandmother, those mentors that have provided you those tools and techniques so that you can take those along with you. So hopefully our viewers and listeners got some out of the open communication. Yolanda shared her perspective, I shared my perspective, and today we just did a recap for you.
Yeah, and I can't say that I'm like a competitive person, but because I'm always up for a challenge and I want to make sure that we have tried, or at least tried to some degree, some of the challenges that we present here. Hubby and I used one of the rewarding activities I mentioned when I provided some starting points for addressing unresolved issues and cultivating emotional intimacy. Now, although we weren't on vacation or anything like that, hubby and I went to our watering hole a couple of days after my perspective was published on open communication. And although the discussion wasn't related to unresolved issues or anything like that, or maybe it was, y'all let us know when we tell you what we did. I still wanted us to feel accomplished and remind us of just how much we can truly accomplish when we work together as a team. So as I mentioned, hubby and I go to Applebee's quite frequently. Our youngest daughter, is like, "Are y'all going on another date again?" And so we wanted to have a discussion. We wanted to make sure that we discuss some things, because usually when we go, we'll say we're going to do something. We say we're going to discuss this, whether it's the kids, whether it's the week, whether it's whatever, and somehow or another we just never really always discuss what we need to discuss. So I wanted us to focus. I wanted us to make sure that we did what we said we were going to do. And so the challenge for us was, I don't know if you guys are near an Applebee's or have Applebee's near you, but they have all every day, all day liquor specials. So I usually like to get a Long Island. What do you usually like to get? Fireball, whatever. So I said, babe, we're gonna go to our watering hole, but here's the challenge: we cannot order a drink until we discuss everything that's on this list for us to discuss, which is kind of hard because the minute we walk in, like I said, everyone knows us. The manager knows us, the bartender knows us, and so they're like, "You want it?" And I said, "We got to get through this first, and then we can reward ourselves with a libation or the drink of our preference." So we did it. I can't remember how long it took.
About 30 minutes.
30 minutes. I think it took a little bit longer, but we stayed on task. We were focused. We addressed everything that we needed to address as far as business, things like that. And then afterwards, we're like, okay, we're ready to have that reward. And so that's something that I would offer to our audience as well. Again, it wasn't, maybe the unresolved issue was that we say we're going to do something and when we go to our watering hole and then we don't do it. But this time we did it. We stuck with it. And I felt good. Did you feel?
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I also touched on in my talk around having open communication. And then after you've had a successful session, you can reward yourself. Mm-hmm. So after you've done the scuba diving, the snorkeling, and had that wonderful eye-opening conversation with the techniques and skills that you've learned and having that open conversation, you get to celebrate.
Yay! And it was definitely a good celebration. Yeah. I think one of the bartenders was like, "What's wrong? Y'all like y'all okay?" Let's tell them, no, we're good. We gotta focus. We gotta focus on the mission.
Focus.
I knew you was gonna say that. Okay, we had to focus on the mission at hand, and we did it, and I feel so very good. And so that is our challenge to you guys. And it can be, again, something as simple or something as complex. But we didn't give ourselves a time limit. Maybe because it wasn't pressing. Maybe because the subject matter wasn't like really, really deep or pressing or anything like that. But I would definitely recommend giving yourselves a time limit. You guys decide on that, and then after that time limit, reward yourself because you've put in the work, you've focused, and you've earned it, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So next week we're gonna share we'll talk about how shared experiences and new adventures can definitely help reignite the emotional connection and strengthen the bond between partners.
I'm looking forward to it. Until next time, if you've enjoyed what you've been hearing, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, and make sure as well that you hit that notification bell so you can see more videos like this where we're sharing affairs done right.
Until next time.
See
Bye,
ya.
guys.